Ma'am, shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, sir. If all participants have joined, we can.
Most of them joined, ma'am. Okay. Good afternoon, Ma'am and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this faculty development program on generative AI for teaching and academic writing. On behalf of our management, academic staff college, I extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished speaker and all the participants. So today's academic world is undergoing rapid changes. Teaching, learning, and research are no longer confined to traditional methods. So the emergence of tools powered by generative AI, such as automated content generated, academic writing assistant, AI-supported assessment systems, and creative learning platforms, has opened up new possibilities, new challenges, and new responsibility for educators. As a teacher and researchers, it becomes essential for us to stay updated, adapt, and make informed and ethical use of these technologies. This program has been thoughtfully designed to help us understand the foundation and working principle of generative AI, explore its application in curriculum delivery, evaluation, and student engagement, enhance the academic writing, research productivity, and scholarly communication, and also learn about the ethical guidelines, plagiarism concerns, and responsible AI usage in academia. And it also aim to develop the confidence in integrating the generative AI meaningfully into our daily teaching practices. So we are truly fortunate to have with us Dr. Suganya ma'am, who possesses a deep insight into AI tools, educational technology, and research innovation. Ma'am expertise will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and guide us in adapting AI thoughtfully and effectively. I take this opportunity to thank our management, Malini ma'am, Director Academic Staff College, Gomadi ma'am, Dean Academic Staff College, for their constant support in arranging this timely program. I also appreciate the active participation of our faculties. Once again, I extend my heartfelt welcome to all the participants. I am confident that the sessions today will inspire us, empower us, and equip us to shape the future of teaching and research in a smarter, more creative, and more impactful way. So let me start with the small introduction about the speaker. Uh, it's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker for today's session, Dr. Suganya ma'am. Uh, for the faculty development program on generative AI for teaching and academic writing. Dr. Suganya ma'am is an accomplished academic and researcher currently serving as an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at VIT, Chennai. She earned her PhD in software engineering from Anna University, where her research focused on innovative application of technology in education and beyond. With over 20 years of experience in academic, ma'am has been instrumental in shaping the curriculum and enhancing the learning experience for countless students. Ma'am extensive research includes numerous publications in reputable channels and conferences addressing the critical issues in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and educational technology. Notably, ma'am has co-authored works on the application of AI in various domains, including the cervical cytopathology and sports analytics, showcasing her commitment to advancing knowledge in her field. In addition to her research contribution, ma'am is a passionate advocate for integrating the technology into teaching methodologies. Ma'am has led several workshops and training sessions aimed at equipping educators with the skills to harness the power of generative AI in the teaching practices and academic writing. Her innovative approach has inspired many to explore new avenues for enhancing the students' engagement and learning outcomes. Today, ma'am will share her insight on the transformative potential of generative AI in education, discussing the practical strategy for its implementation in teaching and academic writing. We are privileged to have her with us, and I encourage you all to engage actively during her session. Without further delay, I over to you, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am.
Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible, ma'am.
Yeah, very good afternoon to one and all present here. Thanks to sir for the wonderful presentation. Just a minute, I'm sharing my screen, then we can continue. Is my screen visible?
No, ma'am. Yes,
Yes, right?
yes, ma'am. Now it's visible.
Yeah. Just to start with, can we have some answers from the audience? Those who are in the session, could you please give join this menti.com, use this code, and think of how you are feeling today. Sir, am I audible? Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible, ma'am.
Yeah, you can just start to give one answer, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Thank you. Participants? Yes, very happy. Can we have from the participants? There are many participants. We could see Kalaivani, Dharani, Manigandan, Monisha, Nisha, Ritika, Priyadarshini, Rajiv Gandhi.
So, dear
Many
participants, please open that website and use the code
Just using
7390 5424.
yes, thank you. One more has come. Very good. It's a good day for some of you. Vinita, Madam, Remlon, Ranjit, Sudha, Tenmuri, Shyam.
Dear participants,
Dharani is trying to write something. Thrilled. Somebody wrote in chat that they are thrilled. Dharani is very tired. Yes, of course. Whatever if you feel, it's not a matter of what's there. Exhausted. It's done for the day. Leave it. Exhausted. Very good. With one more input, we'll move ahead to the next slide presentations. Great. Yes. Curious. Thank you. Confused. Yeah. Okay. A mix up of various feelings. Yes, very great. And but has scribbled on that screen. Other than that, the next question: have you used this tool already as part of your any lecture or any presentation? No problem. Your other persons can leave the screen as it is. You can answer this question. This is the last question. Don't worry. Have you used this tool already? How many of you have used this tool already? Give yes or no. That's it. No, no, no. Many no's. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'll stop here and then I'll stop this presentation. I'll take you through simple ways of how we can make our sessions a little bit interactive, like how is it going to be for the next some time. Okay, so before getting into that, let us understand. You can stop me when I'm not audible or my screen is not visible. I hope my presentation is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this one sentence I used to present in most of the sessions when I talk about Gen AI or any kind of teaching learning sessions or ICT tools, whatever we are talking about. This digitization is not only the key for the future, but is also for the present as of now, of course, COVID is considered. So digitization, actually, it has entered into nook and corners of the world now that we will not be able to skip out in our regular day-to-day activities also. It has become mandatory for all of us to understand that we live with this digitization and we are working with current generation where this digitization becomes mandatory for every one of us to understand and to move ahead and to implement in every part of the world. See, to understand, I'm not talking about AI or Gen AI. It is a complete digitization. Now you see this election commission has announced the collection of what is called that is SAR or some report form. Okay, so what does it mean? They are trying to digitize the entire content. By means of that, we want to actually adhere it to the policies or regulations that is actually being given by the government. So it has its own advantage and its own drawback, and a lot of controversial arguments are going on both the sides. But nevertheless, whatever is happening, we are here to understand the fact that digitization can never be skipped and cannot be stopped. And because the advantages are more on one side, and when we are ethical, we don't need to bother about the other side. So when such things in practice, and when the government itself in India, in developing countries like India, when they are moving ahead towards this digitization, now the concept comes in to impact this or implement this in every different corners of our base. So I hope the entire community who have joined over here should either be a faculty member or a research scholar. In either case, we are managing a most difficult uh, community of the world, which is this Gen Z students. Gen Z students, why are they considered very difficult to actually handle them? Why is it considered very difficult to handle them? It's not because they are actually intelligent. It's not because they are one step or 10 steps ahead of our technical knowledge. All that are okay. Okay, everywhere when an evolution happens, this is what is going to happen. But it is because they are 2 decades ahead of our concept. So down the line, if you look at, the innovative or the technological advancements that these people carry is inevitable. Okay, and we cannot actually skip off stating that we are not into that generation and so on. Looking into that concept, okay, so we need to understand, is digitization really a disruption? Disruption in right sense. This disruption can be taken in any sense, but I'm talking it from a right perspective where I call disruption is where traditional technology, which is actually being used in practice, is completely being replaced by one another. Okay, so why do we call this digitization a disruption, or is it actually like so? So when we understand the what do you say, when before getting into any kind of decision out of it, let me show you some pics. Okay, I think you all can see this. A small kid is holding a mobile phone, and this mobile phone is never called as a mobile phone now. It is a smartphone. So smartness comes out in being intelligent, right? So that is the acronym that we used to see. Whether it is correct or not, okay, no issues. But smartness, we say the intelligent people are very smart. Okay. So the smartphone, when the phone is becoming smart, it means that it is becoming intelligent to understand what we actually require, and it tries to give us better comfort in all walks of life. So, what is that kid is going to do with this mobile phone? If at all, if you have a kid at your home or your neighbor's home, or if you have the opportunity to work with them or to sit with them for some period of time, their grasping power, even we struggle to find out where the skip ad portion of your YouTube is. Automatically, the kid at the age of even 8 months to 1 year, they are now able to understand what is going on the TV, what is going on the mobile phone. Then, when they grow up, they grow with technology, right? Since they're born with technology, they grow with technology. Now, when they come, whatever assessments the teacher is giving, now every school has their own digital platform. So the assessments are being sent, the homeworks are being sent, the newsletter, leave letters, and the exclusions are being collected through an online platform. When the online platform gets addicted more and more, the need for getting into technology also becomes inevitably. Now I could see some of my neighbors who have kids of years studying in fifth or sixth standard. They form a team of two or three. When they are sitting and working in Canva, creating presentations, wondering how can this happen, that can happen, which we never had at the practice. And we haven't thought of one day like that. Even many of us doesn't know how to create a poster in Canva. We do not know how to create a video out of the existing photos in Canva. So whether Canva exists or not, even most people doesn't know. So, but they are smart enough or intelligent enough to understand the fact that, and we need to understand the fact that they live with technology. And such kids when they grow up, okay, and you don't need to bother about the evolution of this to this, okay. So this is only to state right, yeah. Okay. So even the people at this generation. So these people, when they come to this age, they automatically will have the vibe of doing that. But people in this particular age, as of now, okay, even when we were not practiced to use this kind of scenario earlier, we are forced to be compliant to whatever this generation basically expects. Okay, that is where you all are here for this 4 day or 5 day workshop or the faculty development program. So when we are forced to live with technology, implicitly or explicitly, we need to understand in what way can we improvise ourselves to cope up with this generation, guys. Otherwise, what will happen? Our life and their life will become very, very hectic. To understand there is disruption in a better way, you could see all the old age people at your home, at my home, the neighbors, okay, wherever you go, they live with technology, okay, be it in the YouTube, be it Hotstar, Netflix, or the way they are managing their what do you call the pensions and fixed deposits post their retirement, whatever it is, it becomes a critical standard that every one of us has to forcefully understand and make it as a fact that people are actually moving in a very faster pace than what we think. And by when you consider all these things in your pursuit, and nevertheless, we don't have an option of saying other than the fact that the digitization, along with the automation, along with the usage of artificial intelligence, now becomes a complete disruption in the world. And why and when it happened. Okay. So most of that, all these things. Okay. So why and when it happened, how the entire world came out to become an master or an explorer in using these digital technologies. Okay. So a question comes to our mind. And when digitization is called as a disruption, then comes the concept of digital learning. Okay? Because now we have to shrink our major domain into a very smaller domain. We call it as learning because the concept of today and the next 4 or 5 days is going to be only on the concept of how we can make use of this AI towards your teaching and research, which we call it as academic writing. So, in that sense, is digital learning also a disruption? Can we have any degree that is completely online? We never have thought of it some ways. Even I think you may remember that some universities. Yeah, some universities used to offer part-time, but for them also, people has to visit their outlets, which will run only on Saturdays and Sundays. Then they have to physically take the class and then they have to go for the exam. That is how the part-time degrees were awarded. But nowadays, if you look at, a lot of online degrees have come up, which makes the learning also a disruption. Okay? So many people doesn't want you to come to their place for learning and all those stuff. And all these things are going on very digital, and all these things. So digital learning also becomes a disruption now. When and why how it happened? Okay, if you look slightly turn back, it is all from the pandemic. Okay, this is the place from where we started this complete disruption. This pandemic is where we actually have seen a different viewpoint of our entire life, both personally as well as in a professional means. So this pandemic has brought in a lot of changes in our life, be it in the way of teaching, be it in the way of learning for ourselves, be it in the way that we create, and be it the way that the marketing and the business people look at us. Okay, so it's not that only we change, it's that lot many different tools have come up now which facilitate us to move in that particular perspective. And where do we basically stuck? Okay. So initially we were in this, now also we were this in this particular platform where the teacher go to the class, they will have a set of people. And this itself at some point of time, we call it is a digitization where we have the PowerPoint slides shown using. Earlier we had only blackboards, then it was moved on OHP projectors, where on a glass sheet we used to write the concept, flip it upside down, and that will get projected. That itself is considered to be a very massive upgrade in the platform of teaching. Then comes the OHP projector, LCD projector, where you can showcase the PowerPoints which is connected to your desktop or a laptop. Then now this what is shown here is nothing but a smart board, okay, where you just inject your pen drive onto the board, or you connect it to the internet, download and showcase, or go to the internet, showcase. Whatever happens, all the things you can, or you all scribblings like this, whatever I do now can be done over this board. It gives a little bit comfort. Okay, yes, but the students will be sitting here. We have the opportunity of discussing with them, looking at their eyes, and this life was very peaceful for to all the student faculty members. But now coming to online education, post pandemic or during the pandemic, we were forced to go only with the technology since the entire world is shut for some reason. So there comes the necessity for online education. Whatever we have delivered in the class, this teacher used to sit here and look at what the students are expecting without even looking at who the students are and what is their mood now, what do they require, whether they are in the kitchen, whether they are in the lobby, whether they are in the washrooms, whether they are in the playrooms, okay, or whether they are sleeping after getting connected. Nobody knows anything. The only fact that I know is I'm sitting here, I'm trying to convey. Yes. Now, in such cases, okay, but what is the other side? What is the advantage that we can get? Unlike this thing, now most of the, since the online education came in, most of the content become digitized. When this digitization came in, let's say variety of books are now being offered to the entire community, learner community, as ebooks. Okay, either in free case or in proprietary model, or you can go purchase with the subscription rate. In any model, these books are available. What is the advantage? On a single click, I can able to have a look at many varieties of contents, and I will be able to pick up whichever is good from my perspective. So every particular strategy has their own pros and cons. Yes, this online education also has its own advantage and the convenience, but it has a lot of drawbacks like what we have experienced during the start of this session. So, what are we trying to address now? Whom are we trying to address? This is very important because this Gen Z students are said to have been born with these digital natives. Okay, they are comfortable with technology because after they born itself, on the day one or day two, they were given the usage of digital phones. Earlier, no, when a baby is born, they used to say that people used to say that people should not go show their mirrors even to them, mobile phones to them, and they are not supposed to take photographs. Lot many things only. But now, even inside the what do you call the inside the operation theater also, we have we are permitted with cameras and all the things are being video captured and all those things are there. So they are comfortable with technology. They while doing or while moving on also they are laying on learning, communication and entertainment. Everything is on the small device which we call it as a mobile often. So their learning preferences also vary. Okay, it is not that whatever we teach can we actually be listened to by them. But these Gen students value collaboration more. Okay, so we do not have any geographical boundary barrier now. A person who's sitting in the UK or who is sitting in Australia can collaborate with an Indian student over and they can discuss online. Not many online tools are available, and they can come out with very beautiful products across by breaking down the boundaries. So we are now in a position to actually work with this Gen Z students who have a different mindset compared to us and whose learning preferences basically vary. And how do we incorporate all these things? Yes, we understand that there are gaps and there are problems. How do, as teachers, can come out of this tiresome work? Somebody has written, okay, their mind is so, the day is so confused, very exhaustive, very tired. Yes, why are we doing it? Since we do not depend on technology, we are not using the technology in a proper way to get accustomed to that. So let us try to understand how can we come out of it as far as we could. So how do we do that? That's where this AI comes as a rescue. So the human being will get tired of doing things again and again with the mindset oriented towards the Gen Z, which is not our own native mindset, then it becomes very difficult. So this artificial intelligence is a technology that actually helps us to come out of this critical situation, work with those set of students and come out with some innovative, productive outputs. So why this AI is again called as a disruptive technology? Because it actually is ruling the entire world, and it has its own touch in every different domains. Whatever domain you say, AI touches there. Be it in the sector of healthcare, where the medtech is actually being supported by this robots. Okay, so yesterday, I think last week, I had a session on MedTech AI where we were discussing about one particular robotic machine which helps the doctors stand erect, pierce the lump of a patient who is lying on the surgery board. Okay. So, if you look at the human being, our human being hands are not 100% perfect to go for erection. There will be little, what do you say, ups and downs. Since the human body has lots and lots of nerves, that too, when we think of brain surgery, when the nodule is there in some part of the brain, which is covered by so many nerves which are running across, when we do the piercing, if it is touching any nerve other than what is intended for, then the life becomes very critical. Okay. And that's where the doctors say when the patient is at risk, people used to say there is only 80% of chances, 70% of chances, 60% of chances, 50%. So the percentage of uh, saving a particular patient becomes more when the nodule is not surrounded by very critical nerves. Now the robo comes in a rescue where it looks at when it is given with the MRI scan and all those stuff, it scans exactly, gives a bounding box over the region and moves or press show that it fits its robotic hand exactly over the particular position without even mismatching. The accuracy is very critical, very precise when compared to others. Similar things we have for banking. If you say, if you open, okay, so you have AI, what do you say, loans, AI loan approval, AI-based loan approval. On education, yes, surveillance, okay, many cameras, auto detection of the people who are, when the activity of a person is not being actually normal, it can able to understand and say that there might be a theft that may happen in that place. Then you have this marketing that is coming in. Yes, you can see hundreds and numerous applications of marketing to understand in what sector the business people has to move ahead. Then the product design, the innovative design, we call it as design thinking, is now being able to do using product design. Shortly, we see which tools can we use for bringing out with product design. Then transportation, yes, Google Map is the best way to describe how an AI works, right? So this AI, with all your requirements, yes, on the security, it can tell you early in advance about whether there is a problem of your computer being hacked or not in the future days. So now comes, this is the human learning. Yes, we don't need to go in detail, and this is your robot machine learning. Okay, so whatever this grown-up person actually knows, the same experience as what we want the robot also to go ahead. That's where we call it as machine learning. Now coming into what generative AI is all about, because the session on the FDP is all about generative AI for teaching and academic writing. So what is generative AI? This we need to be a little bit careful and clear on the perspective. So for that, we need to understand this hierarchy. The hierarchy, all that we have on top is AI, artificial intelligence. For the artificial intelligence product to work, we need, so the researchers have come up with a lot of machine learning algorithm. We can apply machine learning algorithm, and over it you can incorporate an AI based solution to come up with the comfort in the to the student end user community. Then the machine learning algorithms was improvised a lot, and a subsection happened which we call it as deep learning. Deep learning emphasizes more on self understanding, that is, the algorithm will try to understand by itself about all the features, and that's what has happened. Then when it tries to learn by itself, you see, when a person learns more about a particular concept, when you ask him to write a passage, he can able to come out it very easily. Since the deep learning concept, the concept of deep learning is to make people, when the machine understand more and more about the features of something, then comes a concept called generative AI. What is this generative AI? From the concepts that it learned, now the machine is able to give you some passages or paragraph of its own when it is being questioned about a particular concept. That's what we call it as generative AI. So what kind of outputs can it give? The output can be in different formats. It can be in paragraphs. It can be the form of quizzes. It can be the form of images. It can be the form of video files, and anything and whatever you ask, the AI is able to give. How is it generating all these things? It is through the learning that happened through the deep learning concept, and over it, it applies the artificial intelligence to end up with the generative. To make a very few examples, and these are all AI. These examples are only meant for AI. Virtual assistants, yes, you can see a lot of virtual assistants that are embedded in the website of car companies. Then you have AR, VR. Okay, so AR, you wear a VR glass when you walk over a video, you feel like you're walking. Okay, that kind of anonymous feeling that it can give. Then all games, that you are playing now comes under AI. And you have healthcare diagnosis. It's not only diagnosis, it goes up to the prescription. That's what is AI. And looking at some of the few machine learning algorithm you have, okay, so you have credit scoring, by like, when you apply an application to a bank, it can understand with all your details whether you are able to go for a bank loan or not by creating one field called a credit value. Then malware detection, when actually a file comes into your system can predict whether it is a malware or a general file. Then text classification, recommender systems. Recommender system is the best used one. Like you go for Flipkart, Amazon, Meesho, or whatever it is. When you purchase one pant now, tomorrow it will immediately tell you or showcase you some kind of t-shirts. Okay, so that you can go by itself. That is what recommender system is. When looking at deep learning, a little more critical tasks come in now. So face recognition, vehicle detection from the videos. When the vehicles are running on road, I need to understand how many cars are traveling or on which section the ambulance is actually coming so that I can skip out the red signal for that section and we can leave it very quickly. Disease detection from MRI or CT scan or a combination where the concept becomes very critical and you need to get the input. Then autonomous vehicles. Yes. So we also have auto parking that is released by Mahindra earlier. And we have Tesla vehicles that is completely running autonomous. All these are the applications of deep learning. Then coming to generative AI, which we are actually discussing. Okay, so image generation. This is what we are going to see now. Image generation. Image generation, let's say if I would like to have a man sitting on a bike with a blue background. Okay, how do I know? That is what image generation is all about. The system will quickly pick out different images. Bike, one will come, a man, one will come, and it automatically that is overlap one image on another image. Okay, and there is a process of how is it getting generated. That's what image generation is all about. So it is like we have a painter, okay, so sitting alongside paint with whatever instructions we give them. So it's like a human companion to all of us. Then we have video synthesis. So a part of the video I have to cut. A very simple concept is video synthesis or generation. Nowadays, you have what do you call this AI-based baby. Okay, all of you might have seen in Facebook or Instagram, AI-based baby, which actually is becoming viral. Okay, so even the lip sync is very perfect that we were not able to basically find out whether it is AI generated or not. 1 minute. Okay, then the news content generation. Yes. Okay, so when we tell them that this happened, it automatically scraps out the, or what do you say, web scraps the content that are available and it creates a news for us. Then email reply. Okay, now even the Gmail comes out with automatic reply. Okay, so automatic reply generation. So when you actually get a mail with the brief content of the mail, it automatically tells whether the reply can be sent of its own. Even in LinkedIn, Facebook, and all, you can see thanks for your mail. Yes, sure. Okay. So it is an intelligent technique. It is an intelligent technique that automatically creates email. So all these are context of generative AI. So what this generative AI needs to do, since it is subset, it needs to first learn from a superset and then it has to generate based on this text. So what as teachers or researchers are we going to do with this? Okay. Now comes the question of how this generative AI is useful for a teacher. I'm not talking about the subject. Okay, I'm talking about the usage of this generative tools. I'm giving you this introduction because I hope the following me, there are 3 more sessions or 4 more sessions where the same concept is going to be, tools are going to be taught. So I'll restrict myself in telling you only few tools. Rather, let us try to give a brief understanding on it. Let me tell you how I have generated this slide. Okay. So I don't have an opinion of or idea of having this. I just have. Okay, now what I did, I was thinking of inserting one. Let's say, for example, I'm creating a duplicate slide. Okay. Now I'm deleting all the stuff, whichever is available here. Okay. Now, 1 minute. Sir. Sorry. So what I did, I wanted to show a photo with somebody as a teacher. Okay. So there are many sites that are available which can give you free icons. We should be very cautious in using that. There one such site which I prefer mostly is Pixabay. So I went to Pixabay, okay, and I was just typing teachers. Okay, then I scroll down, whatever pick. Okay, I thought I have typed a teacher. Yeah, something I typed and I got that figure. Even other figures. Let's say, for example, let me take this pick. I'm copying and I'm just trying to paste in this slide. When I try to paste, you can see that this is one AI tool. Okay, of its own, it is available in PowerPoint. Okay, so now if you see, this gives you variety of designs in which you can paste this particular picture. Okay, I'm not thinking of how am I going to paste. Now, if you click, it comes in different textures. Whichever design you like, you can just paste it accordingly. Okay, similar to that, when I actually type this, it will give you a lot of design ideas. Whichever design ideas you like, okay, you can just pick up. And this is what this designer tool of PowerPoint is giving you. This is an AI-based, very simple tool which you can use. Any slide, for example, I click this, okay, it gives me, this is a very only text video. Okay, if it could not give, that's fine. So that is how I have actually started creating a slide. So the first step of us should be to use this kind of iconic icons or the images, which may actually grab the attention of the students. And it is not enough to pick up the images alone. You have to place it in a very skillful way. So what is the problem as teachers? For us. Okay, this also I think I have generated only with that designer studio. It gives me a lot of options to go with multiple designs. Okay, you can see here. Okay, so whichever we like, on to the right, you can type, you can type here, whichever you are feeling good, we can actually do. Okay, so what is that are we trying to say? Okay, so earlier the question was when the AI and the chat GPT was brought in to the human life, how will AI impact this education is the question of many people. Okay, how will AI impact education? Okay, is it going to create any disturbance to the teacher community? Is what everybody was posing. When you go to any industry or when you go to any interview or whomever it is, this was the question that will be posted in all the panel discussions that are happening. But now the situation got entirely changed. So what happens? People are asking now in our university, people are asked to use generative AI and chat GPT for their teaching and to facilitate the students with this, meaning that we have to learn a lot to make them understand, because you give all facility to them. Now it is your task and burden to make or to teach them in a different style that they will not get it from them. Now the question has got and evolved like, how are the new and effective ways to touch and deal with AI? What does it mean? There is no concept or the word without AI will never exist. Okay, that is the reason. As teachers, where and all, what are all the different podium that we do have, and where can we embed this in Gen AI tool? Is what are we going to see next in the 1.5 an hour. So one is the communication channel. This is very important because the communication, without this communication channel, this FTP cannot happen. So the communication medium, a channel may be a physical medium like in your class or an online medium like this. So that is what we need to first understand. Then the teaching mechanism. What is the mode of mechanism? Because if you look at the community, even without Genesis, the prior case also, if you see, the community, the students as such, everybody will not be in the same line. Every one of the people will have, basically, they are different in their own terms. So how are they different? People are used to be called as kinesthetic learner, visual learner, auditory learner. Okay, so based on what they basically like. Some students have the tendency to always listen to audios and videos, from there they learn. Some students used to do projects rather than sitting in the classes, when they will be very well versed in doing experiments in the lab classes. Some students, they will always be listening to get evaluated by means of quizzes and other exams. So this teaching mechanism imparts us replicates the necessity of having a mix of different teaching pedagogies, so that an average crowd that is in front of you can be equally addressed. And delivery of materials. What is the mode of your delivery? Okay, how are you going to prepare your teaching materials? And because other than your teaching material, we have hundreds and thousands of materials. If you type now, what is the Gen AI tools, you will have hundreds. But how will you make the session more interesting? Then comes evaluation. Is it going to be a physical evaluation? If online, what is the mode? Because this is not mostly in individual's hands, that is with the context from the authorities. Then what is the mode of discussion form? Okay, so are you going to manage a discussion forum like WhatsApp, Team, Microsoft Teams? Are you going to have Google Classroom? What is the modality in which you make the people to discuss with themselves? Like otherwise, what will happen? They go discuss in forums like Quora, Reddit, and other private forums, which will make the life a little hesitant. Rather, if you give them the freedom of utilizing, and if you are actually watching it, okay, silently without creating a rigor over them, then it will be there. Then the validation of all these things. How are you going to validate the student for their performance? Are you going to check them with the AI tools? Are you going to do a flat check? Is what matters a lot. And these are the things where, as a teacher community or an researcher community, is where we basically struggle. So looking at some of the things, I'm giving you a glimpse of various tools that are available, which we basically use. So the communication channel normally is Gmeet or Zoom. If you look at the Zoom, okay, I'll just go to the Zoom. Yeah, this is your Zoom scanning. You can see, I think, yeah, show meeting. Yeah, I think you can see the screen. Okay, you can see one AI companion. I think it is inbuilt nowadays. These days, it is inbuilt with the Zoom itself. Okay, so you have a AI companion. If you look at here, okay, so already they have started for converting the audio to the text. That is what we call it as transcription. Earlier, this audio has to be separately fed into a particular free open source tool, and then that open source tool will convert the audio into this text file. Then they have to embed this, or they have to give it as a separate file. But now you see everywhere you can see this audio companion. Okay, and that is yeah. Oh, yeah, that's so similar to that. Gmeet also has a tool called Red AI, okay, Read AI or Red AI, whatever it is. When you go for a Gmeet, automatically like this AI companion, it also has Read AI, which transcribes the audio and then store it into an text file, which will get like in all YouTube videos, you can see the transcription that is available. And these are some other communication channels which you can use when you give the students a different feel of which is completely different from a regular platform like your Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Gmeet, okay? So they'll come into an awesome effect and then they'll definitely see what is that are we doing. Now comes the teaching mechanism. Okay, a lot can be done using this. I'll just show some tools. Okay, to start with this notebook LM. Am I audible? Can anybody respond?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So we can go with some 5-6 tools, which I think is of use for all of you. We will start with the tool that we have used initially, which we call it as Mentimeter. Okay, so this Mentimeter is a very simple and a very useful tool that all the industry also even use. Yesterday we had, okay, so now you go to mentimeter.com. Okay, you can log in with your Gmail ID, any Gmail ID. So it is free up to certain things. You can use the freeware now. And when you feel like the tool is of more important to you, let's say if you are writing a research paper or a thesis, if you feel like the grammar checking is of most importance, so for that particular month, you can transfer. So now you see, you can create, I'll show you both the versions. Okay, traditionally, I can create one Mentimeter, like I'll show you what I did. Okay, initially, yeah, this is what I actually asked. What is that one word that describes how you are feeling today? 3 persons have given, others have scribbled on the screen. And how have you used this tool already? No. Okay. I'll just create a new slide like this using both the traditional technique as well as with the AI technique. Okay. You see the difference. I'm going to create using traditional methodology, a new Menti. Okay. You can see I'm going to start from the scratch. Okay. What is the question? So this is what we call it as word cloud. Okay. So when the answers are going to be just overwritten one after the other, this is what we call it as word cloud. And this is what I'm going to build with the answers that you are going to generate. What is the question? How are you feeling today? Okay, that's all. My first question is over. Now I go add a new slide. Again, I'll ask. Okay, so instead of word cloud, now I go for multiple choice question. So the multiple choice question is, how about the learning from this session? That's all. Okay. So the option 1 can be option 1 can be good. Option where low. Okay. Now I am okay with these 2 questions. If you want, you can add many more. And when I want to show this to you as an audience, and when I want to get the responses, I'll just go click on this present. When I click on this present, you wait for a minute. It will create a user code for this. Okay. And then it'll ask you to join in Menti.com. And then it will go. Okay. So currently it is in the second slide. So I can go to my first slide. How are you feeling today? As and when you write the answers, it gets predicted. This is one way you can make the students to be very interactive. And then the next slide. Okay. So what is the learning from this session? Good, pair, low. Automatically, when somebody answers, it increases, it lowers, and it varies between the answers, all of that. And when you complete, you can end up the presentation and it will come up. This is one way which we actually manually is created. The same thing will start creating using the AI. Okay, I'll start with AI because every tool comes up now with an AI flow. Okay, so now let's get started. What do you like to create? Okay, so I'd like to create some questions for my audience. So what is that question is about? Is it icebreaker, closing reflection? Closing reflection is what I need at the end. So now it means it can be an icebreaker, formative assessment, scenario-based skills training. I type it, I need an icebreaker during the start of the session. So it thinks that gives me different opinions. What's one word that describes that you are feeling? This is what I have taken. What is something you made you smile this week? Suppose if you are okay with any of these questions, you can type one or two. I'm going to give two as my option. Or else you can suggest whatever you want. I'm just giving my answer is two, which is the second question. That's all. Okay, the same Mentimeter question has come, right? So it is nothing but making us comfortable in creating a question. Okay, I may not be comfortable in thinking this perspective, whereas the system is or AI, intelligent AI is telling us how we can come how we can make the user friendly. Okay, so that is what. So when you want to continue, you can just continue. You can add on questions or you can present as we do. So this is one simple, okay, one simple a tool, but yet very powerful tool that you can use. You can change the background color. Okay. I think this comes in paid version. Okay, all these things. And when you want to go for open-ended or when you want scaling like this, ranking like this, okay, multiple choice question, guess the number, Q&A, anything you can actually present. This is one simple but yet useful tool and which you can basically use. Then the second very useful tool that you have is this Notebook LM. Okay, so Notebook LM, I'll just show you. I'll delete this and then I'll show you how you can make use of it. Okay, this Notebook LM, again, the sign-in is using Gmail. For everything, you can use your Gmail. Now, I'm going to create one new notebook. Okay, you know what are the contents of notebook, right? Anything and everything you can write within a notebook. This notebook can be used for one subject, multiple subjects. Okay, understanding, comprehending, anything you can use. Same way you can use this Notebook LM. When I want to create a new notebook, okay, so I can ask my Notebook LM to create a notes by uploading the files. For example, I'm uploading one one. Okay, some document. You can see this paper is about this. Suppose I want to create a mind map. Okay, you can just click on it. It will create a mind map with whatever content you want to have. See, the mind map has come. So it will not restrict itself to go for one mind map. You can upload multiple papers. For example, I'll just close this. Okay, and then I will add one more. Add sources, upload files. Something, I'm not sure what is the content of this. Let us see if anything matches. I have uploaded 2 files. Then again, I'm generating this mind map based on the 2 sources. Earlier, it was only 1 source. Now we are going for 2 sources. If there is relevance between 2 files, then automatically that will come. With multiple, otherwise I'll download some cancer detection PDF. A review of cancer detection. I think it will not get downloaded. Yes, I don't know whose paper is it, but similar papers I'm downloading. Automated cancer detection using this one. Then I'll go for this link. It's a paid one. Paper 1 and paper 2 we have downloaded. Now we'll go for it. I'll create a new notebook. And then I'll upload these 2 files. Paper 1 and paper 2. Yes, so I have uploaded. I need a mind map. You can see whatever you can. You can create an audio overview while you go to the while you work in the kitchen, while you actually going for a walk. You can go for this audio overview. Yes, now that mind markers have come. You can see whatever is common from that, it will take, and when you expand, it will go and it will clearly show from which of these, whether this is taken. Okay, and when you expand, you can see from which of these papers that was taken, and a clear picture will be given to you for your reference. So this is the major use of Notebook LM. Apart from this, if you see, you can create many flashcards. Flashcards will give you the important concepts that are actually being picked up from each and every paper. It is generating.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, sir. No, I'm waiting for that. Okay, so now it is creating.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, now it has created near to 74 cards. Okay, now you can ask your scholar, as if it is a research guide, can ask your scholar to go through the entire paper, and you can now question them according to first paper. What is the proposed system's primary goal in its initial stages? What are the 4 common cancer types does the research in PDF the paper 1 focus on? What are the 3 machine learning? You can see, can give you a lot of insights about the 74 or you about the two papers that you actually fed in. So now similar to that, you can go for creating an audio overview. It will take much time. That's why I'm not actually worrying. But you can do that a little later when you go to the quiz. Okay, so quiz is also one thing, but you have a different platform. Here also you can quiz. All these things are uh, very much useful. But when we'll go for quiz in this Quizzy, okay, there is another tool called Quizzy. Okay, this Quizzy is now termed as Wayground. Now I'm logging in with my Gmail. This second or third tool, I think first we saw Mindmap, then we have seen a notebook LLM. Now the third tool is your quizzes, which is very much useful, especially for quiz making. Okay. Now that I have taught one particular concept, okay, in the class, and I'm going to ask questions with some question. I'm going to conduct a quiz because after going to the class, I felt like students are not listening to me. And by the end of the class, I want to surprise them with a quiz. So what do I do? Okay, so I can go for the assessment. Okay, now there are different ways. You can create from your scratch. You can type the questions and you are most welcome. Then generate with AI itself will generate questions for you, but we won't prefer that because whatever we taught has to be as converted into a questions. Then you can insert. Then I'm going to upload my data. Okay, so what is the first data? I have my one PPT, whichever I have taught in the class. So I'm uploading the PPT. It is about the unit 1 of theory of computation. Okay, so once it is uploaded, I'll just click on generate quiz. You can see. These are the pics that I have added in my PPT. It takes the questions from that. We need to go through, verify, validate. It is very, very important. Without validation, we are not supposed to do. Okay. So since it is my PPTs are all only having images, it is not able to formulate properly. But if you are giving a PDF, okay, these questions are all verified. What the three basic models of automata, not finite automata, it automatically creates a question for us. You can retain whichever you want and you can just leave out whichever you do not want. See, these many questions are what it had actually generated. So automatically you can give this. If you publish, it will go. The code gets created. That code, if you share it to the student community, they can take up this quiz, which you can actually look at here. So this is another important tool which we normally use. Save as draft. I'll go back. I'll show how we can do it from the scratch. Okay, now again, I'm going to create an assessment and this is where I upload a PDF or a PPT or a Word document from where I asked this Wayground to create a question. Now I'm going to generate with AI. Okay. So I do not have any document as of now. I'm going to generate with AI. Okay, again. quiz name. Okay, so theory of computation basics. Number of questions, 10 questions I am in need of. This continue. It will give questions of its own. You can give a web link or you can give a document, that is purely up to you. You can see a basic 10 questions from the theory of computation basics is what has been given to you as a quiz. So when you actually publish, you can ask your students to log in with their account and then start now. If you click, automatically it will go live and that code will get generated and the students can able to do. This is your third tool, which is of most importance when you want to work. Next comes the very and most difficult part for most of us in creating presentations. A presentation should be appealing. It should not have only text content. How do I do that? Okay, when we have only text presentation. Okay, so now if you see here, I have created some presentations using this tool, which is we call it as Gamma AI. Gamma AI is a tool which can give you max up to 10 slides. You can see most of your students might be coming with presentations for reviews like that. All this is Gamma generated, right? How do you generate here? I'll create a new. I want to create a new. I'll go back to the basic. Okay, and then I'm going to create a new one. You can create from notes also. Okay, let me create from some notes, whichever I have, or I'll download. Machine learning from PDF. I will download something. Okay, we'll download that. Yes, that one we will use. I can paste the content. Unit 1. I'll just copy this alone and paste it there in Gamma. Since the text is very minimal, it has created like that. We'll go create one, generate one PowerPoint presentation. So what do I want to do? Because 10 cards is for free. From 15 you have to go for other things. So now presentation deep learning, and then we will create an outline. It will tell what are the slides or the cards that it is actually generating. You can just go look at it and say whether it is okay. If you want to change something, you can change. You can see these are all the things that we're suggesting. If you are going for a detailed mode, if you are going for an extensive mode, you can ask for it. And then suppose this visual, whichever you want, let's say, for example, I always go for dark theme. Okay. When the AI images, suppose you have images, you can just give, or else you can ask it to generate of its own. Generate, it will give a overview. can see a presentation has come. When I'm presenting this, this is the second slide. You can see the third slide, fourth slide, fifth slide. This you can definitely use when you are in an urge of doing something, when you do not have time to do that, and all the stuff. Right, so this Gamma AI is one very important and very excellent tool for creating such PowerPoint presentations. And one can always make use of it. And comes a very important and a very good tool that we basically use here is Magic School. So this Magic School, see, every AI tool comes up with multiple functionalities, but every tool has its own advantage. Gamma AI is very good in creating presentations. The content-wise also, it will not hallucinate to a greater extent. So Quizy is particularly efficient in creating quizzes. Even though all the functionalities are given by multiple tools, we should know what to be used for what. That is more important. Now, if you look at this Magic School, again, this is a very useful tool for all the teachers. You can have rubrics created. You can have, there is a video questions created from a YouTube video. You can see how you have write a professional mail, how you have to write an academic content. Okay, everything you can create. Okay, so we'll just create a few things. We can see here also you can create a presentation, profile, lesson plan. You can create recommendations. Okay, I've created a lesson plan. I don't know where I placed my collections. I'll just check. Okay, we will create one lesson plan or image we will create. We haven't seen an image yet. Okay, for example, I'm going to generate an image. Okay. What image? Yeah, 20-year-old boy with white t-shirt riding in a red color bike. With helmet. This gives you a bicycle. 20-year-old boy. Yes, it matches with two white t-shirt. All are wearing white t-shirt with helmet. Yes, it is able to give a red color motorbike. Yes. That English we have to be, this is what we call it as prompt engineering. We have to be careful in specifying what we actually in need of. So when we give some this thing, so this will have as an image. When you click on it, you can make use of it. You can download and we can make use of without any this flat problem. You can generate AI images and you can use in your PPT and to make you can make many people know create a shirt with the word somebody felt no, they are there is tired. Written in the front. White plain shirt. This one only is given. So what are the other things? We call it as hallucination. It gives you the pic as if it is correct. But if you keenly look, validate, these words are not what we actually, this is tried, okay, but it can understand what is plain white shirt. And then with the word tired written in the front collar, you can see this is written in the front image. So this is one image generator, which we normally use for making the presentations very in a better way. That is Magic School. And apart from magic, these things, all tools has all these things. You can create a worksheet for any topic. Okay, this is also one major advantage that you can use. You can create something for this. You can normally we put it year 13 and we go for it, but this is a very simple content that you can basically use of. Then similarly, you have Skywork. I have two more tools. I'll take some 5-10 minutes. I'll leave it for the question session. And this is one another very pretty AI tool maker which you can make use of. Okay, so we have to have the slides from machine learning, we can say, and then we can just ask it to go. It will show the contents that it is trying to put, whether it is a light theme or a dark theme. Then you can actually give within 5 pages. To make it simplified, I'll give it as a dark theme. Okay, and then I'll ask it to continue. It tells yes, from where these contexts are taking all the references that it is showing here. And then these are the different pages, 5 slides that it is going to give us. It is generating now. Should not skip or overload. And two, okay, it has come. Yes. This is the version of presentation that it is giving us. Introduction to machine learning. Since I have chosen dark theme, it is coming like this. You can see how machine learning works. A beautiful presentation that this can able to end up with, even if it will take too much time for us to end up. If you give the text whatever you want and ask it to generate, then your life will become pretty easy. For the researchers and academic writing, I will suggest two tools basically. One is the Grammarly, right? When you go for ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Claude AI, or any different Gemini AI, whatever it is, many times we lose our thought process of creating something. Always human beings touch is very important. Now, the Grammarly comes up that's best of making you as the owner of the document, and by the side time parallelly, it actually checks for the grammar and spelling and all the stuff in a regular way. So you can just use this Grammarly tool in a better way. And next comes GPT-0. So when this GPT-0, it is very important to understand whatever we generate. Okay, even let's say nowadays, when you enter the text, it comes out with the auto correction of the grammar that is coming. When you actually do all the corrections, it understands that it is not the human that we are doing, since the pattern is the same, which is not the usual practice of a human being, and it shows that it is AI generated. And this GPT-0 is one tool which accurately will identify whether your context is AI generated or human generated. And that is very, very important to understand. So you can upload the files and you can check how much of the text is actually generated by human and how much of the text is actually generated by AI. And you can check, okay, you can give that is, it can tell you whether the chat you have made it with Chat GPT, human plus AI. Somebody, very intelligently we used to give like create a paragraph of this and humanize this, humanize this. Now this GPT-0 is able to tell that we have humanized the content after getting generated from Chat GPT. Now it has come to that level also. So I request all the people to use this. So there may be a question of, can we use AI or not for our research? Yes, we can use, because like how we Google for the things that we did not know early, this is a pretty much user-friendly, intelligent tool that can come up with all different possibilities, possible solutions, which we need to read, understand, and then incorporate in the work. It doesn't mean that whatever it has given has to be actually embedded. It has to be used as a supplementary process, okay, in our entire process. So that is the thing. And if you look at here, yes, we can download this PPT, we can download. I would suggest usage of this, because this is one of the most important tool that I have ever used in many contexts. Okay, so these are some of the tools which we can basically use. Okay, so to make your life and the students' life more comfortable. And now we can go with the question and answer session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your informative session. Dear participants, kindly post your questions in the chat box. Otherwise, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. So our speaker is eager to address your questions. Dear participants, kindly put your questions in chat box. Else, you can unmute your mic and you can ask. Dear participants, kindly post your questions in the chat box.
Okay, I think no more questions, I think, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Somebody asked video making tool. Actually, video making is available in most of the tools, but it comes only in the paid version. That is the
Thank you,
only limitation we have. I think there is one tool which can give some 30 seconds of video at free of cost. Napkin AI. Only 30 seconds video we can create at free of cost. Rest of all is requesting for the paid version of the tool.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you all for
Good
joining.
afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks at the conclusion of day one of our faculty development program on generative AI tools. So our sincere thanks to Suganya ma'am for delivering such an informative and thought-provoking sessions. We are also grateful to our management for their vision and continued motivation in organizing academic development program like this, which help us to strengthen our teaching learning ecosystem. A special words of thanks to all the faculty participants for your active engagement. Once again, thank you all for making the first day of this FDP a memorable and productive beginning. Thank you and have a pleasant evening. Thank you, ma'am.